Hello. Welcome to another installment of Kinstretch with the Fitness Alchemists, in which we continue to try to delight you with our entrances and the beginning of these videos. Today we have a quick one for you with some delightful hip focus. We're going to get all that deep rotational stuff primed and ready and give it some good training as well. You will need a block if you've got one, optional, a pillow. This could be just a regular old pillow from anywhere in your house for some knee padding, because we are going to be on one knee, both in a half kneeling and in a quadruped situation. And we're going to use a dowel today, but for you at home, just a sturdy chair that you could put a hand or two hands on while we're in that half kneeling position will go a long way to help you generate force in that position and make you not feel like you're working with balance as the main thing that's happening in that moment. All right, we're going to get started. Come on down to a quadruped position for some hip cars. If quadruped's not your jam, feel free to do side lying or anything else that works best for you. Everybody take a deep breath in, create some good tension through your midsection, and stiffen your arms, pressing into the floor. From here, start to drive your right heel up to the ceiling as high as you can, and then push it out to the side. Come around the corner, start pulling that knee to your chest, and then get contact between your thighs and pass through. We're going to keep going in that same direction. You are working for time here, not needing to count reps. I want you to find your 1 mile per hour pace and really think that you are balancing a glass of water on your low back, opposite to your belt buckle, filled to the brim, and you are not interested in spilling even a drop on yourself. Keep breathing, keep fueling that midsection tension. And then wherever you are right now, pause and reverse direction. Beautiful. Keep listening. What is the largest circle that my hip can make without tagging in any other parts of me? Spot check. Is my belt buckle still looking at the floor? Is my t-shirt logo still looking at the floor? And am I actively pressing into the ground with both hands? Could you make your hands a little heavier? Keep squeezing out a little bit more smooth hip motion for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. Give your wrists a little shake if they need it, and then get yourself queued up for the opposite side. Nice, strong position. If you've got that block, you can set it on your low back for a little bit of extra feedback. Good brace, and left heel towards the ceiling. Push it out to the side. Come around the corner, start pulling the knee towards your elbow, towards your chest. Get contact between the thighs and pass through. Continue on, smoothly connecting those dots that I called out. And just a reminder here, your goal is not to look like Will or anyone else who you're practicing with, but to find the edges of your hips range of motion. Searching and finding the borders of what you can control with that hip. Pause and reverse direction. Wherever you are, just rewind. Beautiful. As we get into the second half of the movement, reinvest. You still have a good brace through your midsection? Are you still pressing your hands heavy into the floor? Are both elbows still straight? Is your belt buckle still staring straight ahead at the ground? Nice work. We're almost there. You've got 15 seconds left. Reinvest. Slightly larger, smoother circle, even a millimeter of extra size. That circle is a total win for 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. All right, I'm going to have Will come up to tall kneeling for this next one. If kneeling is not great for you, you could stand for this. And if you've got that block, go ahead and stick it in between your knees. This is a tension building tool to squeeze. We're going to do our full spine cars. So you can give yourself a gentle hug here. Create some good tension through the lower body. I want nothing below the belt to move as we go through this. And then as best you can, segmentally, one vertebra at a time, nod your chin to your chest and start to round through your spine as far as you can without losing your good butt squeeze. Once you get that, start to rotate to the left. Woo! I don't know if you could hear that at home, but Will got some lovely adjustments to his spine there. Side bend on that left side and extend segment by segment. From your tallest extension point, rotate on over to the right, side bend on the right, and wrap yourself around to the front. Keep going in that same direction. You're now on the clock. As you go through this second rep in the same direction, just try to wring out, actively pull yourself into a little bit more of each direction. What is contracting to make your spine into each shape? Sure, you'll feel some stretches, but see if you can key into what's actively bringing you into that position. When you get back to center, go ahead and stack yourself back up tall and take a little regroup. Reinvest in your lower body tension. Squeeze the block if you have it, or pillow you could use as well. Squeeze your glutes and start to peel down one segment at a time. Trying to get a little contribution at each segment. Once you can't flex forward anymore without losing your butt squeeze, rotate to the right. Side bend on that right side. And then extend. From your tallest point of extension, rotate to the left. Side bend on the left. Wrap yourself back around to flexion in the front and pass through. Continue on for another rep. What can you contract to pull yourself, bend yourself, get a little more contribution from each spinal segment in each shape that your spine is making? Make sure you're breathing. It's easy to stop breathing on this one. Breath's really going to fuel your work. When you make your way back around to the front, go ahead and stack yourself back up tall. And Will is sweating. Ding, ding, ding. All right, nice job, team. So we're going to come into our 90-90 position, working with our lead leg. So here's another place that your pillow may come in quite handy. Get your pants organized? Totally. That's how it goes. So we're looking for a stretch in the lead leg, or the leg that's in front. And we want to make sure that thigh bone is pointing straight ahead from the hip bone and then making a 90-degree angle. And then you can play with the position of your trailing leg. If it feels better to sneak it forward, great. If it feels good to have it in that traditional 90-90 position, also great. You pick what works best for you and what facilitates you to find the best stretch in your general butt region of the lead leg. And particularly, we're looking for that stretch deep in the cheek, close to the bone. That's going to help us talk to that deep hip capsule tissue. Now, for most folks, the knee is going to be up off the ground a little bit, so we can slide that pillow underneath to take up that space. Even if you don't have a pillow's worth of space, try sneaking the pillow under there. We've really been finding that that dials in a deeper capsule stretch for folks. So I want you to at least try it for one of your takes of this class. And then start to tilt your belt buckle towards your thigh, so that you start to really open up that clear stretch in the back of the hip. And we're just going to take a few breaths here to get clear on that stretch. And then we're going to be going into our kinetic stretching. So camp out, start honing in on that sensation of the stretch. I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about what we're going to do in a second. So I want you to stay in position, give that tissue some time under tension while we're setting up the next exercise. Multitasking. So in a moment, I'm going to ask you to put pressure down into the floor, under the knee and under the ankle, to find a contraction of that stretching stuff. And what we're going to do is kind of a slow buildup of that contraction going nowhere, isometrically, just like a pail or a rail contraction. And then we're going to start to create some movement slowly to bring us back up out of that stretch. We're going to then do the same thing with our rails tissue contraction, the stuff that pulls us into the stretch, but we'll talk about that when we get there. So take one more deep breath. Make sure you're feeling the best stretch that you can. Good. And then use your points of contact first. So think knee gets heavy, ankle gets heavy, no movement occurs. You're just trying to light up that tissue that was stretching. If you'd like, you can sneak your opposite hand somewhere under your shin to give you a little bit more sense of something to kick down against. Having some resistance to work towards helps a lot, I'm finding, with these isometrics. And then you're also thinking about rotating. So the other option you can use your hand for here is to give yourself a little tactile cue. You want to show that real quick, Will? Yeah. So you can use your opposite hand to just remind your thigh bone of the direction of rotation that you're aiming for, and then hook that in. So start to slowly build up that pressure into the floor, going nowhere until you feel like you're at a nice 50% contraction. Good. And then build that up towards 80% effort. I want a really strong effort here. Once you get to 80, start to use that 80% effort to slowly create motion, pushing your torso back upright, driving your foot into the floor until you feel like you're sitting up tall, but you're still pressing down with 80% effort. Great. Now take that opposite hand, place it right against your knee, switch your effort. So gently start trying to pull your knee towards your chest and make your ankle light off the floor. So now opposite rotation, and start building up that contraction slowly. Find 20%, work your way up to 50%. Try to find an 80% effort, which can feel super intense, but I'll take anywhere between 50 and 80 that you can grab. And now slowly start to use that to pull yourself forward. Pull, 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 pull until you're feeling the biggest stretch that you can again in your hip. Good. And now go nowhere, press into the floor, ramp that contraction up, find a nice 80% effort. Once you're there, start to push the ground away. Stacking your torso back up tall, bit by bit. Keep pressing, still pressing, still pressing. Good. And then switch to ramping up your rails contraction, going nowhere first. Once you get a nice strong contraction, start to pull yourself in. Good. Very nice. And then pressing down, go nowhere first. Build it up. Find a good 80% effort. And then slowly pushing yourself away. Whatever amount of range you have, I want you to think that that opening action takes about a 5 count. And then build up that rails contraction, get a good strong sense of it, then start to pull yourself forward. Excellent. We've got 2 more of these. You can do it, team. Press down, go nowhere, find that pales contraction, deep back of the hip stuff. And then push yourself away, push yourself away, push yourself away. Good. Hand on the knee, build it up going nowhere first. Woo! And then pull yourself forward. Good. Last one. Leave it all on the floor. Press down. Build up that nice 80% effort. This is tough. This should feel like a lot of work. Start to slowly push yourself out. Good. Once you're tall, hand on the knee, try to make that ankle light, build up a good solid contraction, and then pull yourself forward. Good. Once you get into the basement of that stretch, slowly relax. Wah! That'll do it. Okay, switch sides. I'm going to borrow your block. The block is currently the instructor seat. Okay. Set up on the new side, start tilting your belt buckle forward, try to find that lovely stretch through the back of the hip, general butt area, and if possible, deep in the cheek. And take a few deep breaths. Good, nice. So part of the reason we're coaching this a little bit differently today is that you've probably seen Kinetic stretching a decent amount if you've been in Kinstretch land for a while. It's one of those movements that's easy to just do an impression of. Oh, they're folding forward and they're sitting up. But the game is we really want the muscles of the hip to be doing that movement change, not just a bend forward from your torso and then a sitting up of your torso. I want the muscles of the hip to push away And then I want the muscles of the hip to pull you forward. So we've found that this little extra bit of ramping can help make sure we've got those muscles already contracting, and then we use them to move. All right, so take one more breath to feel your best stretch through the back of the butt. Create a little tension through your midsection, and then start making your knee and your ankle heavy into the floor. If you'd like, you can give yourself that reminder of the rotational force with your hand. And then if you'd like, you can also hook your hand under your ankle to give yourself even more to press against. Start ramping up that effort, finding 50% first, and then crank it all the way up to an 80% effort and maintain that intensity as you start to slowly push your chest away from your leg. But really, you're trying to push your leg away from your chest. Once you're tall, hand goes just above the knee. Start to find the contraction that could lift your knee into your hand, but your hand is too strong. Crank that up to 80%, and then slowly use that intense contraction to pull your chest towards your thigh, to pull your ankle light off the ground. Good. Once you get into the basement of that stretch, hook back under, go nowhere, press down. Once you find that good 80% contraction, slowly push yourself back up. Pressing, 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 pressing. Excellent. Hand on the knee. Find that 80% contraction. Ramp it up, get clear, and then pull yourself in. Pull, pull, pull. Nice. So good. Good. Hook under, press down, go nowhere. Ramp up that back of thigh, back of hip tissue, and then use it to slowly push yourself out. Smooth, controlled. That's it. Nice. Ramp up, a pull in, and pull. Good. Two more, team. You've got this. Press down and push the ground away. Excellent. Ankle heavy, knee heavy. Good. Knee pulling into hand, ankle trying to get light. Once you've got a clear contraction, pull yourself in. Good. Last one, best one. Press down, ramp up, and then slowly press away. Yep. Yep, 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 yep. You're doing so well. Pull yourself in one last time. And relax. Oh my goodness. So spicy. Okay, we're gonna switch to the other side. We're gonna do a second set. The good news is we're only gonna do 3 reps instead of 5. However, I'm gonna count our 5-second opening and our 5-second closing to keep us honest on that slow timing. Okay, so tilt yourself forward, find your best stretch. Hook your hand under your shin. Start your isometric now. So pressing down, go ahead and ramp up to that 80%. Good. Now use that 80% effort to push your torso away from your leg for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause here. Hand on the knee. Start ramping up your rails contraction, trying to make your ankle light, and then pull yourself in for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Hand under the shin, press down, get a strong 80% contraction, press out for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Rails contraction, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last one, best one. Press down, get solid, ramp up to 80%, and then press away for 5, 4, 3. Whew, keep breathing. 2, 1. Stay tall. Hand can go on the knee if you want. Ramp up that contraction and pull yourself in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly relax. Excellent. Switch sides. Good. Tilt yourself forward, start hunting around for that best stretch. Usually it's clearer to find on the second round, which is nice. Create some tension through your midsection. Start pressuring down into the floor, knee and ankle, and you can hook your hand underneath anywhere along that shin that helps you the best. Crank that effort up to 80%, and then slowly start to push your torso away. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stay tall, hand on the knee. Pull that knee up into your hand, but go nowhere, and then tilt forward for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Press down but go nowhere. Ramp that contraction up to a nice strong effort, 80+% if you can. Now push away for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hand on the knee. Try to pull the knee up into the hand, but it's too strong. And then start to pull your torso forward. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last one, best one. Hook under the shin, press down, crank up to 80+% and push away for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Stay tall, hand on the knee. Find that rails contraction. Strongest one of the day. Pull it in for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly relax. Fantastic. All right, gang. We're going to get into a half kneeling position for some hip extension work and a little internal rotation work. This is where you will probably want your pillow and you'll want your chair nearby. We're going to use, again, a dowel, partly to help with visuals, and we have a nice squishy floor, yeah. From that half kneeling position, Will's going to tuck his tail under to expose a stretch through the front of the hip and the front of the thigh. Maybe a little more through the inner thigh territory. And you can hunt around for that as you like. And then here, you'll want your dowel or your chair so you can press your hands down and feel solid. If it's comfortable to tuck your back toes under, that's an awesome option as well to give yourself a little more steadiness. You just want to make sure you're on train tracks so you have a little space between your front foot and your back knee. From here, drive your hands down into the chair to get solid. Create a good brace through your midsection. Imagine I've super glued your knee to the floor. You're going to start to try to drag the floor forward to engage all of that stretching tissue down the front side. It can help here as well to think that you've super glued your front foot to the floor and you're pulling your front foot and your back knee towards each other. Slowly ramp that up to 20%, 40%, 60%, 80%, and hold. Maintain. We're here for 15 seconds. Life is good. Keep trying to light up the front side of the hip, dragging forward, driving that knee towards your chest. Keep going for 3, 2, 1. Now stay tense through your body and try to find the opposite side of the hip. Can you tuck your tail under? Can you squeeze your glute? Can you try to drive your belt buckle towards the chair, or in Will's case, towards the dowel? And can you gently try to slide your knee back behind you? It won't actually move, but have that intention. Keep working that for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly melt that away. Woo, very nice. We're going to go ahead and switch sides. Bum, 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 bum. It's like superhero pose with the dowel. Great. So tuck your tail under, tilt your belt buckle up towards your face, expose the best stretch you can find through the front of the hip, front of the thigh tissue. Get your hands planted sturdy on that chair. Take a few deep breaths. Key into where you feel that stretch. This stretch is usually easier for most folks to find. The tricky part is when you go to engage it. Somehow it's like, how do I go to the where? So if you're new to this, I invite you to stay at a lower level of intensity on that PALS effort. If that helps you stay in the right stuff, as you do successive retakes, you can start kicking up your intensity as that tissue gets more familiar. All right, brace your midsection, commit to that curl of the pelvis under, super glue your knee to the floor and start to slowly try to drag the floor forward, starting gently at first, building your way up to 20%, building your way up to 40%. You can really drive that chair or dowel into the floor, 60%, and then 80% and hold. Keep holding, keep breathing, keep dragging that back knee forward for 5, 4, 3, 2, stay in position, 1. Find the rails contraction. Can you curl your tailbone under more? Can you feel your glute squeeze? Maybe almost flirt with a glute cramp. Can you try to slide your back knee behind you, like you're sliding the floor behind you? No movement is expected, but that's the direction and intention of the muscles we're trying to target. Keep going for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly relax. Take a deep breath and love your life. Okay, so we're gonna do a slight variation on that to buy us a little bit of internal rotation for the down leg. So you're gonna need to get close to a wall or the edge of your couch or something that you can put your foot against. We're gonna use our wall here. And then we're gonna try to keep the thigh bone facing the direction that it is, but Will's gonna turn his body to face more towards that trailing leg. So the front foot will come around a little bit. You can adjust your chair as you need to, so that we're really biasing rotation of that thigh bone inward, and then the belt buckle, the pelvis, the whole body is trying to rotate to face a little bit more towards me or towards that down leg. And that should feel exciting in many places. Where do you feel that, Will?
Here, but also deeper in the hip capsule.
It's getting some good capsule stuff. Okay.
All the way around.
For sure. So, from this position, our PALS is going to be to make the ankle heavy into the wall, as though you're trying to unwind your thigh bone from that position. And also, if you can keep that going, to think about bringing your knee towards your other foot. So plant heavy into that chair. Start making your ankle heavy into the wall. If I was there, I'd be trying to pull your ankle away from the wall, but you'd be too strong. Super glue your knee to the floor and drag across towards your opposite foot. Ramp that up to 20%.
Front foot helps me too.
Front foot dragging towards your knee can really help. Nice cue from the inside. 40%, 60%, and hold. Keep holding. Keep holding. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, stay in position. 1, keep your body on tension, let that effort fade away, and now try to make your ankle light off the floor. Try to rotate your belt buckle more towards your down leg. Try to have that ankle put as little pressure into the wall as you can for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, slowly relax. Yowie zowie. Fan favorite over here. Okay, so put your new foot against the wall. Rotate your belt buckle back to face that leg. T-shirt logo coming along for the ride. And then arrange your chair or your dowels where it's going to give you the most support. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. Feeling any stretches that you notice there. And then start to press your ankle into the wall as though you are trying to unwind that thigh bone from its rotation. Super glue your foot and your knee to the floor and start dragging those 2 points together, continuing your rotational pressure into the wall. Ramp that up slowly. You're probably already at 20%. Find your way to 40%, 60%, hold there, maintain consistent pressure for 5, 4, 3, 2, stay in position, 1, slowly let that fade, and now try to swivel your back thigh bone such that your ankle would come off of the wall or get light on the wall. No movement is actually expected. You got it. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly relax. Good. Okay. We're just going to finish up with a little piece of work back in the 90-90 position, this time for the trailing leg. So I'm going to have Bill point that trailing leg more towards the camera. Yep, perfect. So in this position, it can be helpful to pinch that heel in a little closer to you. Also serves as a nice block for where that trailing leg can go. I lied. We actually want to keep that open.
A little.
Yeah, a little bit. So we've done this exercise a bit, but we're going to change it up a little bit. So the biggest cheat that we see when we try to get this internally rotating thigh to create movement is that the whole pelvis goes along for the ride, and we sort of shift the hip forward. So from this position in the 90-90, I want you to make your front leg heavy, and then I want you to grab onto your ankle and pull back, but the leg is too strong, it goes nowhere. And then see if you can get your elbow right up against that ASIS bone, or that bony ridge right at the top of your pelvis, so that we can block that in place as we start to move the leg. This also helps you wind up a good bit of tension so that you can get some good work done in that trailing leg. So ramp up there, and then start to rotate your back leg off the ground. Thigh bone twists forward. The result is that the ankle will lift, hold, 3, 2, 1, and then parachute back down and come right back up. When you reach the top of your rotation, fight for more for 3, 2, 1, and right back down. Rotate that thigh bone. If I was there, imagine I have my hand here, 2, 1, and return back down. Twisting the thigh bone. The result is that the ankle will lift, 3, 2, 1, and back down. 2 more, you got it, team. Rotate, fight for more. 3, 2, 1, smoothly lower, parachute back down. Last one, rotate, 3, 2, 1, smoothly lower back down. Woo! Spicy hip sauce. Come on over to the other side. Make your front leg heavy. Grab on just underneath the shin. Get that elbow plugged in right against your hip. Kickstand hand can be a help here too. Ramp up tension through the midsection, and then rotate that thigh bone such that the ankle lifts. Hold at the top and fight for more. 3, 2, 1. Parachute back down. Again, rotate and hold at the top. 3, 2, 1. Parachute back down. Keep your body on tension. You've got this. Rotate and hold. 3, 2, 1. Parachute back down. Good. Rotate and hold. 3, 2, 1. And back down. Last one, best one. Rotate and hold. 3, 2, 1. And parachute back down. All right, gang, if you've got the time, I'd love for you to do one more set of each of those on each side. We're trying to keep this one a little shorter, so we're gonna say farewell for now. Great work. Enjoy using your hips for whatever else you're getting up to today.